I'll be dropping combos. So this is something I'm going to bring up to y'all just so that way you can go back and make sure that you are not dropping your combos. It's very important when you're playing fighting games and you're trying to get good, which hopefully most of you are, right? Because if you're not trying to get good, then why the fuck are you even here, right? Let's at least try to get good. You should go back and watch a video. Mostly watch my videos, but more importantly, you should go back and watch your videos of your matches for knowledge, right? And what I mean is go back, you know how you can go into the menu and pull up your replays, watch your replays and turn on the inputs, because here's one thing that some of you probably don't know about doing combos and things in this game, is that when you input combos, timing is not as much of a factor as it is in like Japanese games. Okay, Street Fighter with links and you know, fucking Tekken with just frames and things like that. I mean, this game has just frames, but I digress. Timing is not as important in this game or any NetherRealm game. What's more important is accuracy. Okay, so in, like, for example, a Japanese game, you can kind of just plink and mash to get the timing right for certain, you know, timing intensive inputs, right? So like in Tekken, when you launch and you want to make sure you land a jab and time it right, you kind of mash the jab and then, you know, it'll come out on the right frame. You can do that in certain Japanese games. In Mortal Kombat, you really can't. There are certain points where you can, but you really can't. What the game wants is less how accurate you are in timing and more in how precise you are with your inputs as it relates to not pressing the wrong buttons. So if you're doing a string or you're doing a 2-in-1 or you're doing a combo, you have to make sure you hit the right buttons. Hey, what's up, Panama Beans? You have to make sure you hit the right buttons in the right order. It doesn't really matter the time. It's not very strict. I mean, there is timing involved. If you take too fast and then nothing comes out. If you go too slow, then it doesn't finish the entire string and what have you. So make sure you are very, very accurate to kind of to display this. Right? As I was warming up, I messed up some of my inputs. It was a little bit sloppy. That's what happens when you're warming up. And I noticed. I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? I should talk about this. So what I was doing was this, right? I was doing this regular basic bitch combo. Jump 2, 2-1, 2-1, 2 into spin. And then, I don't know, I do forward 4, whatever. Fuck it. Right? That's not what's important. But as I was practicing it, I did this. Now, do you see my inputs, right? I did jump 2, 2-1, 2-1, 2, amplify button, and then the quarter circle forward 1 to get the spin. You saw that the million tiny punches came out. Spin did not come out. The reason why is because I did the string, and then my next input was the amplify button. My hand just kind of slipped. I hold the controller like this. Very easy to hit your knuckle on the R1 button on your Xbox. Right? We've all been there. Hey, when you're warming up, you're a little sloppy. But I noticed that. So you see how every input, like, it's very clean. I don't have anything mashed. But because after the 2-1-2, I pressed one button wrong, the game cut everything off and said, yo, this is not a route that this can take. This string does not have an amplify point. So, boom, we're done. He screwed up. No inputs. And so when you're going back, right, because if I do it properly, no wasted inputs, you see, comes out easy. I mess it up, same timing. It's just I accidentally hit the R1 button in the middle of the string. Nothing comes out and it stops it. So when you're getting combo drops and you're saying, oh man, I don't know why my combos aren't coming out and it's fucking me up and I'm getting mad, make sure you're going back and looking at your inputs. If your inputs are clean, then consider that a situation where lag was probably a factor. It probably lagged and lost an input. Because the game is deterministic, when you pull up the replay, all it does is it inputs your... it pulls up the game like in a versus match, and then it just inputs you and your opponent's inputs at the exact time that you did when you did it online. So it's not like it recorded a video footage. All it does is it just puts in the inputs at the exact time. So if a string gets dropped, you can go back and watch and see if it got the input. If you know for a fact you pressed the button, then it was lag, it dropped the input. Okay, whatever, it happens. It's online. But if you see that you did the string and then you had a button there that was wrong, say the string was, 1 2 1, and I hit 1 2 4 1, nothing comes out, right? Actually, that worked there. I think it only works with special moves, right? So if you do the string, strings take precedence. So even if I hit a wrong button in the string, as long as I end the string correctly, the string will come out. That has to do with the option select on that. The one option select to not have special moves come out of your strings. I think I have a video on that, but you should look up Noble Raptor. He has a video on the option select with that. But if you input buttons during a string, as long as you finish the string, the string will come out. It's the wrong button after the string that stops you from getting a special move. That's pretty much what I'm trying to point out here. But yeah, there is an option select where you do that and then block and what have you. Yeah, anyways, either way, when you're doing your combo or when you're doing your replays, make sure you look at your inputs. Always look at your inputs. Even go slowly. Go slowly to see, because if there's one input that's wrong, especially a lot of you guys get real mashy, right? And like with Mortal Kombat, I can't hit 1 1 1 2 1. I can't hit 1 2 2 2 1 1. I'll get another string, right? I can hit 1 2 2 1 1, right? But then I won't get the special move at the end. So make sure when you're inputting stuff, you input it clean. Hit confirm, simple shit. Make sure you're clean, and make sure when you look and go through your replays, you're looking at what your hands are doing. Sometimes there needs to be a way you hold your controller change. Right? You need to hold it a different way. A lot of people hold their controllers like in weird ways that are maybe or maybe not comfortable. There's very specific ways you want to hold your controller. And so sometimes you'll get a lot of bad inputs because you're holding your controller in a weird way. And, that's why a lot of Tekken players do the claw. So that way you can hit multiple buttons. They'll do the claw. The way I hold my controller is on my fingers there and my palms, and I keep my fingers like that would actually push buttons floating. I keep them floating over the buttons, right? So that way I'm not touching. Some people, like, they have a very heavy grasp and their fingers are on the buttons. I keep mine a little bit off, and so I can hit things very, very quickly like that, and try not to get those jacked up inputs. But it is very tiring to hold the controller like that, so make sure, you practice up for that, because otherwise your hands will get exhausted. But I don't know, I'm a little heavy presser, so I notice that I press too heavy, and I want to make sure that I don't press too heavy. Those are weird things that you'll notice if you go back and watch your inputs. Okay, go back and watch your inputs, and you'll notice. Listen to your controller. Your controller will tell you. These are things that you can do to clean up your execution. You'll always want your execution to be very precise and clean, and no jacked up inputs and no weird shit. That's how you level up and get consistent. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tweet this out to your mom so that way she can work on her execution, and then string into special move can be added into her repertoire.